So Caesar has had enough. They threw him in jail with a fake son and got him eating hay and whatever this is. And that wasn't even the worst bit. They were using the water hose as punishment. And they did all this because he was backing his man. So now the world has to suffer. But he can't do this by himself. He needs a team. But the apes he's locked up with all have dementia. They probably think this is their natural habitat. Besides my boy Maurice, he valid. So Caesar carefully watches the guard as he punches the codes in, remembering the numbers. He then swipes a pocket knife off Malfoy's body without him noticing. Later that night, he puts the plan in motion, unlocking his cage and creeping out of the prison, making his way all the way back to the trap house and stealing the ALZ-112, a drug that was created by scientist Will Rodman to treat Alzheimer's, the disease that LeBron adapts every time he's trying to remember lyrics. Baby. Anyways, that was the goal, but that's not what happened. It made apes very intelligent and was increasing their IQ at a rapid pace. So Caesar returns to the pen because he wasn't just gonna leave his dogs like that. He as real as it gets. So he gasses the place up with the 113, and it must have been a crazy feeling for those apes, going to sleep with a brain like Beetlejuice and waking up like Einstein. That shit was probably the best gas they ever had. Caesar was at the front double checking everybody, making sure there was no more peanut heads because he ain't want no liabilities in his team. This ain't Minnesota, Rudy. Anyways, he calls a team meeting, letting everybody know that this is probably their last night in this bitch. And now it's midnight and every ape is in their cage, but not Caesar. He's out in the yard. And Malfoy sees him, and while I'm watching this movie, I can tell he hates Caesar more than he ever hated Harry. So he tells Rudy to go up and cover him, and Malfoy steps out with his taser, and he can't fold now because every ape is watching. Even King Kong is tuned in. BBC pussy ass Polly there as well. So he tases Caesar 3 times. He tries to go for the 4th, but Caesar dodges it, and all the apes are going crazy, cheering for their boy. He then tries to backhand him, but Caesar grabs his arms. And this part, it needs no commentary.
Take your stinking paw off me, you damn dirty ape!
And that was the last straw. He activated human mode. No! Yeah, everybody was stunned. The nigga can speak now. And that nigga King Kong, in his eyes, he saw Jesus. He whacks Malfoy in the head and continues screaming, no! Every ape is going crazy and all their balls have tripled. They finally have hope. Caesar then drags Malfoy and puts him in the cage, raising his taser. And yeah, he's really him for real. He starts freeing up all the other apes, and this dumbass walks in for some odd reason, like there ain't 300 apes on the loose. He locks himself in and them apes grab his ass and start jumping him.
Let him get up. Fight back!
After being a mashed potato for like 30 seconds, Caesar comes in and stops them because as a great leader, you just don't kill innocent people. He puts him in the cage and gives him that look like, nigga, don't try anything dumb. Draco wakes up and tries to grab the fire hose, but the apes weren't gonna let that happen. So he grabs the taser, which must be the smartest move in the world, as if Caesar wasn't holding a water hose. And yeah, it was a painful way to go. He walks over and notices the tag on the cage that shows where the apes are being transported to. So he gives the apes the Optimus Prime special. It's time to roll out, breaking out of captivity and pulling up to Genesis Laboratories. And this place is symbolic for Caesar. He hates it here. This is where he was born and also where they killed his mother. These niggas then tear through the building, breaking everything and freeing up all the other apes. And this is when they let the demon out. Cobra, every human's worst nightmare. His motto, if it ain't ape, kill it. And then walks in Steve Jacobs, the boss of all this, thinking he got robbed and shit. But he looks up and sees 1,000 apes, and that alone would have been enough. I would have passed out. These apes then just start jumping out the windows. Clearly they don't get affected by floor damage. That shit been affecting me since season 2 Fortnite. They head straight to the zoo, busting out every last peanut head ape and snapping off the metal gates to use as spears. Just imagine you're walking down the street minding your business and see hundreds of apes wielding spears. One of the peanut head apes gets caught slipping and ends up getting snatched by animal control, but he didn't stay at the back of that van any longer than Roddy Ricch's music career. I just been balling hard this season and I'm telling you, I'm not gonna breaches. Fuck, I might need the ALZ my damn self. Anyways, the apes were on this guy's ass, hurling spears at the van, and it's really Zoo York at this point. These apes are running through everything, and Maurice and King Kong are out here violating police. Then we get one of the coldest scenes in the franchise.
I'm a gorilla in a fucking scoop.
So they made it onto the bridge and they are damaging everything in their way. Man, I would have been mad as fuck if they did this to my whip. But hey, what can I do? Fuck, I look like trying to lose a finger. Imagine you just trying to get home and Draymond Green popping out of nowhere like... So the apes are heading north and the LAPD goes all out trying to stop them. They got a chopper, a SWAT team, and even cops on horsebacks. And all of this just to try to stop them from going back to their natural habitat. Like, fuck you want them to do? Live in the cage forever? Caesar peeps something is off and raises his hand. And the way these apes just stopped, you would have thought they were playing musical freeze. Who the fuck is this nigga? He calls a play, sending Cobra and a group to climb to the top of the bridge and Maurice to lead a squad to cover the lower ground. The police horse riders are coming in hot. I can't even lie, they were doing damage, knocking out all the NPC apes. It was straight target practice. But Caesar's not having it. He cares about all his members, even the role players, spearing the cop right off the horse on some WWE shit. And I've never once in my life seen someone who didn't care about their life more than this nigga right here. Who in the right mind will charge at a gorilla face on with a horse and a baton? Not even a gun? He just wanted to meet Michael Jackson so bad. Anyways, Buck stops the horse with one hand and the cop on top starts giving out hit markers. Like that shit's gonna do any damage. Nigga, the average gorilla weighs 430 pounds. That little stick ain't gonna do shit. Buck grabs him, throwing him off the horse, then licks his lips cause you know he about to feast. But just as he's about to turn him into a Krabby Patty, Caesar screams at him, telling him to kick back. He don't want the apes killing humans. Nigga acting like they were all living lavish like he was. They came straight out the mud. All they know is struggle. They never tasted a cookie until you gave him one. So Buck just screams at him, by this face, I know he at least let something out of his pants. Cobra and his squad make it to the top, but the chopper is onto them. They shoot Draymond, but it only fuels the apes with anger and determination, motivated more than ever. Like that type of motivation you get when you walked in and your girl's getting clapped at the back of your fridge. Like you know you're hitting the gym the next morning. The chopper somehow loses them in the mist, and the police at the blockade can't see them either. Meanwhile, Caesar's out there like Light Yagami, executing the whole plan. Nigga points at the bus and immediately like 5 gorillas charge forward. This is equivalent to having powers, cause what the fuck, he points, they do. The 5 King Kongs flip the bus, using it as a battering ram, inching it closer to the police blockade. They're trying to get that close range battle. They can't win against guns. The bus grinds to a halt, and in a distance, a lone horse barrels forward. Psych, it's Caesar, letting out a fierce call, and suddenly apes start dropping from above. Imagine looking up and there's ape nuts dropping on your head. Cobra's out here pulling capoeira moves, and while those cops are focused on them, Maurice's crew scales the bridge from below. This probably be the worst position to be in. You got apes coming from all directions, top, right, front, left, back. Fuck, I look like her. You got Rocket out here moving like Wolverine, dodging bullets and spearing motherfuckers. Buck feeding police to the sharks, and then we have the mastermind who points, and they do. The apes are up 20 in the 4th quarter. There's no way they can fumble this, or can they? The chopper pulls up with the K-16 and starts massacring all the apes. If you weren't behind the car, GG's gang. And remember that pussy from earlier on? Yeah. He gets the snitching, pointing at Caesar, telling him to shoot him because he knows if you strike down the leader, the pack will scatter. We'll be left with a couple thousand peanut head apes on a bridge. Anyways, I'm confused. How the fuck did he survive this? So Caesar with his high IQ goes inside the police car and manages to find some chains, running right back outside while swinging that hoe, throwing it right at them, clotheslining both clowns. But that victory did not last. The passenger princess whips out his pistol and starts firing shots at Caesar. But Buck isn't about to let Caesar die, because if he does, how am I gonna upload these 2 videos? He shoves him aside and charges right at the chopper, eating all those bullets like yum yum yum, jumping right into that chopper. And man, it would have been a bad day to be in that bitch, cause Buck was killing everything in that hole. The chopper crashes and Caesar pulls out Buck, and by the look of it, Brody was not 50 Cent. He was not gonna make it. Caesar then hears a voice of someone struggling and walks over to find it was Steve Jacobs, the man responsible for literally everything that happened. Him asking them for help is as stupid as Kamala Harris asking Cardi B to read for her campaign, and she can't read.
So I don't take lightly the call. Sorry guys, I'm a little nervous.
No wonder why she lost. Anyway, Caesar turns around, giving Cobra the nod. As soon as this nigga saw Cobra, he knew he had to prepare for the gulag. Oh yeah, Caesar had one more thing to say. Subscribe, hoe ass nigga.